his Nightline.
Tonight, paying for peace.
Ain't that funny?
It's a controversial new way of making neighborhoods safe.
We want to expose them to a world where they go from, I don't give up, to a place where maybe I do.
Paying potentially dangerous young men to not pull the trigger, where the streets are hunting grounds, highly charged rivals brought face to face. Tonight, the violence interrupters at work. Plus, the art of the miracle shot, that wild NCAA buzzer beater everyone can't stop talking about. And a lesson in practice makes perfect from the guys by that name. No look shot. Dude perfect. But first, the Nightline 5.
If your family outing is
Good evening. Thanks for joining.
You think? Live out your dreams. Win up to $100,000 300 times a day playing Keno.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, a revolutionary new approach to curbing street violence in one California city. Paying young men who are often armed and potentially dangerous not to shoot, bringing arch enemies together, diffusing the lethal anger that can be sparked by something as simple as a Facebook post. Here's my Nightline co-anchor Byron Pitts with our series Face to Face.
Devone Rice is just 19 years old, but he's already had to say goodbye to 7 friends, each one murdered, and he's fed up.
That's cold, bro.
Today, he's paying his respects to 2 brothers buried in one plot, shot dead on the same day. He tells us he didn't cry when they died, but the tears are coming now, and something else, anger.
What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Pain, man. Like real pain, bro. You know what I mean? Make me want to act in violence.
Watch closely. Grappling with an urge to avenge his friend's violent murders, Devone pulls out his phone. He's about to make a life or death decision, whether to call his boys and retaliate.
I have to sit back and I gotta think, whether to go left or whether to go right.
5 bullets came from a white Mazda.
A brother and sister shot to death in Richmond last night.
This potent mix of pain, anger, and teenagers with guns, making Devone's hometown of Richmond, California, at one point one of the deadliest cities in America. Here, the streets are hunting grounds. Corner after corner, young men run for their lives. Those puffs of smoke, bullets, chased by an armed rival. And here, a calculated hit is underway. 2 men calmly walking before they open fire, lighting up the night.
Every night on the news, you'd think this was Beirut. You'd be afraid to come to this city.
In 2007, the city brought in Devone Boggan, who came up with a controversial solution. Pay the young men like Devone not to pull the trigger.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. The better the behavior, the better the paycheck.
Ain't that funny?
This month, Devone got the maximum, $1,300.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
For you.
That day at the cemetery, he chose not to avenge his friend's death.
Everything you do is gonna have a reaction, you know what I mean, and a consequence.
You on first check status.
Devone is just one of 24 men in an 18-month-long fellowship that's run out of Devone's Office of Neighborhood Safety, or ONS, mostly funded by taxpayers.
That's our rent right here, boom.
There are people we've spoken to who believe it is wrong to pay a kid not to kill somebody.
Well, that's not what we do. In fact, I never tell a young man to put his gun down. Their job is to get their lives together.
I painted all those cabinets right there.
Devone also got a real job.
When the people come in here and they move into their house, they would never know that little black kid from Richmond did it. You know what I mean? They'd never know.
Progress for a young man who was first arrested at age 12 for armed robbery. He says he was homeless and stole an iPhone to help his single mom pay the bills. Devone says he was well known on the streets.
A serial shooter,
That's what they would say. I called him a leader.
a hunter.
That's what they would call him. I called him brilliant, working to survive.
They said all of this, boy?
To help the fellows navigate life or death choices, Devone enlisted men like James Houston and Sam Vaughn, who themselves have rap sheets for violent crimes.
And let me tell you, City Hall was like, what? We're going to be looking to hire men and women who may have murder in their background.
Their background, one of the things that makes them particularly suited to the most crucial part of their job, interrupting violence.
Hello?
The fellow calling tells James he thinks he's being hunted.
What kind of car?
A car filled with suspected rivals, parked in front of his house. Unarmed, Sam and James put their lives on the line to stop a potential shooting.
I'd rather protect myself than be screaming for help on the ground.
We're told to keep our cameras down because the young man asked us not to show his face, his house, or use his name.
I'm telling you, serious, couldn't take my word.
But I'm telling you,
calm down.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is,
whoever it is right now, they just a dead man walking.
Let us try to deal with this.
Sam and James stay with him until he calms down.
For a minute, it was a hard choice, but then again, I had to really think about it.
It is a cry for help. It just isn't the typical one because they don't want to do something, but they feel like they have to.
In a 5-year period, the number of homicides dropped 76% across Richmond, a number that can't be attributed to ONS alone. But ONS says the proof that their approach is working, the vast majority of fellows are still alive.
so we want to expose them to a world where they go from, I don't give up, to a place where maybe I do.
Dewone's been doing so well, he's qualified for the next huge reward in the program, an all-expenses-paid trip to D.C. and New York City. But there's a catch.
You have to be willing to travel with someone that's trying to kill you or that you're suspected of trying to kill.
Go to school every day.
Dewone will be paired with Mariko Williams from a rival neighborhood.
New York, Yankee thing.
So far, 18-year-old Mariko has not been shot, but his mother fears it could be a matter of time.
I worry a lot. Every night, every day. I pray.
What's your biggest fear?
That I have to bury him.
ONS is about to bring together Mariko and Dewone for the first time for a pre-trip meeting, each joined by another fellow in the program from their own neighborhood. The change agents stay close by. A face-to-face meeting like this can turn deadly in an instant.
Let it be known that you little tripping, feel me? That you little tripping with it, because now y'all making it seem like we tripping and y'all tripping and we making y'all trip.
Dewone says Mariko's crew disrespected one of Dewone's murdered friends on Facebook. Social media posts have been a flashpoint for violence here in the past.
Why the you little tripping? Feel me?
Finally, Mariko and his friends agree that the post should be deleted.
So we set? Yeah.
Navigating this conflict with words, not violence, is a big step for these young men.
Without this program, we would have never met. We would have never had an encounter like that. It would have been negativity.
So how is it that you guys get along now?
How?
You and the guys in the program?
Oh, because we have a conversation.
So you can settle differences that maybe in the past might have been settled with guns. You settle.
We're talking it out. Bro, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop-de-wop. There you go. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. That's all.
Settle.
This scene could have played out differently. The change agents say many of the fellows in the program still carry guns for protection.
How do you square that with if you are trying to teach them how to function in society, but yet they're still strapped?
Right now, we're just trying to teach them not to deal with their conflict with violence. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying I understand your reality.
But so many armed men on the streets, relax, is not a reality police here are comfortable with.
So I don't know what they're doing on the street level. They're kind of on their own track, and we're on ours.
We're with them when a routine traffic stop.
There's a point where like asking people nicely just stops.
Turns into an armed standoff.
Hey, close the door. Close the door.
In the car, please.
I didn't bought clothes, sir.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Hands up. Hands up. It's a firearm.
The driver has a gun out in plain view.
Put your hands up, man. Put your hands up.
Not uncommon in Richmond, where protection from being hunted can be more important than hiding the weapon from police.
Don't move. If you move, you're going to get shot. Do you understand?
Luckily, he obeys.
Step out. Step out. Put your hands behind your back. Put your other hand behind your back. Put your other hand behind your back.
In this car, 4 men, 2 guns. No shots fired this time.
Revolver? He may bail out before I even get off work, you know? And there's 2 firearms recovered in the vehicle.
Other cities struggling with gun violence, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Oakland, are now asking Devone for his help.
Is there any sense that maybe you're coddling these kids who need a firm hand, who in some instances perhaps need to be incarcerated?
Absolutely. Their growth and development requires a little coddling, coaching, discipline. That's what they get here.
My late mama will call all that loving on these boys like parents.
Brother Byron, that's exactly It's not that hard. These young men shoot because when they shoot, they matter. It's when we pay attention to them.
It's finally time for the big trip to the Northeast.
For like $1 million.
So many firsts. Far from the streets of Richmond, the rivalries and reality of living there seem to dissipate.
Blue strips.
People say, what's your theory of change? Blow these young men's minds on life.
Show them what's possible.
Show them what's possible.
From the corridors of power.
This is raw right here. This is a boy.
To the skyline of New York City.
I call it the top of the world. This is raw. I've never seen nothing like this before.
Perhaps a new perspective on the world, each other, and what's possible for a life well lived without violence.
They don't come back kumbaya, home team. But they come back and it's Byron and Devone.
Not that sucker from across town.
Not sucker.
It's a lot harder to shoot someone you know, respect, maybe even like.
Can you maintain that, though, when you get back to
Most
Richmond?
definitely. This is a revolution, you know what I mean? New era.
For Nightline, I'm Byron Pitts.
Up next, when it's nothing but net, the guys from Dude Perfect give us a few secrets behind the swish.